Hi, I'm Bob Trask. Thanks for being with me. Today we're going to talk about a quantum leap into joy. Quantum leap into joy. I know you'd like to be in joy. I know you'd like to be in joy. We like being in joy. But I think we misunderstand joy because we think that joy and happiness are the same thing. I want to talk about joy and I want to talk about a quantum leap to get us there because joy is the power of the universe. Joy is the seat of our personal power. And without joy, everything is difficult. It's really hard to make anything happen. So sometimes things get better gradually, a little slowly, like chocolate melting in your mouth or spring softly awakening in April. But some things simply can't change or even get better until we're willing to let go of how it is, let go of the past, let go of what we think is true, let go of what we're holding on to. I have this example of that if you put your hand out and you put a little bird feed in it, and eventually a bird trusts you and comes and sits on your hand and eats the bird feed and flies off and comes back and eats the bird feed. And one day you decide, I don't want to let that bird go. So you close your hand. When you close your hand, it's no longer a bird. It's no longer a bird. And your heart and your soul are no longer birds. They're no longer able to fly when we cement them in our grip of ego. All true change requires letting go of something that we cherish. British Prime Minister David Lloyd George said, anything can be achieved in small, deliberate steps. But there are times when you need the courage to take a great jump. You can't cross a chasm in two small jumps. The person committing to finally be in excellent health is going to have to give up their old eating habits and their idleness and their toxic relationships. Now, why do I include toxic relationships in this mix? Simply because those who are dealing with toxicity of harmful lifestyles, not just diet, not just overeating, but toxic lifestyles of any kind. Those of us who are dealing with toxic lifestyles usually have friends who are swimming in the same pool, who are part of our toxicity. They support us. They support one another in habitual dysfunction and make it okay to denial, to deny and to continue in denial. We certainly see this in alcoholism and in drug addiction, but those are mere obvious problems. No matter what we're doing today that keeps us from being the valuable and precious beings we are truly here to be, we need to look at our comrades, at our friends, at our pals, at the people who we hang around with, and see whether we're sharing a dysfunction that together makes us feel comfortable being off base. Oh boy, I'm telling you, I know this story pretty well because I've been there. I've been there. And as much as it hurts you to leave behind someone that you've been palling with, as much as it hurts me to leave behind someone I've been palling with, the way I can best serve them is to be an example of how we can be better. Step up. Step up and step out. My wife, Mary, grew up in St. Joseph, Missouri. And right next door was a wonderful couple who owned an ice cream company and an outlet. And when she was a year, well, not a year old one, but when she was still a child for her birthday, they gave her several coupons for free ice cream. Free ice cream. Mary knew that if she didn't hide them, she didn't hide those coupons, her brothers were going to take them and go use them. So she hid them. And she hid them so completely that she didn't find them again until she was grown and moving out. And the ice cream place had closed and the couple were gone, and it was all history. Now, I use this example to say that we have hidden truths about ourselves, gifts, yes, gifts like ice cream coupons that we've hidden so well that we forgot they even exist. And if I could invite you for a moment to go back to when you were like 3 years old, maybe 4, but 3 years old, 3 and 4 years old, you had a gift. And at that point, you knew what it was. You didn't intellectually know what it was, but you lived it. You were in curiosity. You were in joy. Everything was unfolding in front of you. The world was unfolding in front of you. There was light, there was color, there was music, there was sound. There were adults moving around in strange ways that they moved around and saying things in strange ways that they said things. And they were busy doing this and doing that, and you were watching all that. And it was all curiosity, and it was all wonder. And you were on fire with life. But we've forgotten about that. We've hidden that gift. So this is how most of us live, waiting for the right time to do something precious instead of doing. And instead of doing something precious, instead of finding that preciousness, we're thinking about it. We're thinking about it. We're thinking about what if I were a multimillionaire? What if I had perfect health? What if I was in great physical shape? What if my friends were? What if I had a friend that was a famous person? Author and life coach Barbara Sher said, "Doing is a quantum leap from imagining." Not thinking about it. Doing is a quantum leap from imagining. Thinking, she said, about swimming isn't much like actually swimming, isn't much like actually getting in the water. Actually getting in the water can take your breath away. Anything worth doing is worth doing too soon. Too soon. It's not time yet. Yes, it's time. Anything worth doing, says Barbara Shear, is worth doing too soon. Now, one would think I'm talking about a thing we once knew about ourselves and decided to ignore, but I'm not talking about any one thing that we've lost, that we've forgotten. I'm talking about a gift that we've ignored and so then not even opened. And if we open that gift, the most amazing thing will happen. We'll find out who we are not, who we thought we were. We're not fixed beings. We're not even identifiable by a name. I know my name is Bob Trask, Robert Riley Chauncey Trask. That's my name. That's just a tag. That's not who I am. When I was born, I had been alive forever. I had already been alive forever. Well, I just came into this body. I'd already been eternally alive. So had you. Then we got a name tagged on us, and a gender tagged on us, and a nationality, and a religion, and a political party, and so on and so forth, and a state, and a city, and we belong to a certain team or a certain group of people. And all of those are tags. That's not who we are. We're not even identifiable. We're not fixed. We're not statues in a park. We are becoming. That's what we are. We're becoming. We're a river. We're becoming, we're changing, flowing, braiding, weaving, going around this bank and that bank, moving on, having new and new and new and new and new experiences. We were not created. We were not created. We're being created. Moment by moment, instant by instant, day by day. We're not only not finished, we'll never be finished. Because like that river, we're flowing and we're deepening. And exactly how does that work? 30-year-old Breezy Johnson has spent her entire life on mountain slopes. She was up and skiing at 3 years old. Her mom remembers we'd get off the ski lift and Breezy would call out, "Meet you at the bottom, Mom," and off they'd go. Breezy Johnson just won the women's downhill Olympic gold medal, joining Lindsey Vonn as the only other American woman ever to win an Olympic gold in downhill skiing. You remember David Brinkley from Huntley and Brinkley, the news program? David Brinkley said this wonderful thing. He said, "She took a leap of faith and grew her wings on the way down." Oh, I love that. She took a leap of faith, a paradigm shift, a quantum leap, and grew her wings on the way down, because that's the only way we get wings. I could go on and on with stories of other athletes, of actors and musicians and artists and parents and business people and social leaders who are always out on their slopes, never hiding from the challenge of stepping their game up higher and higher and higher. Scott Peck's best-selling book, The Road Less Travels, starts with this sentence: "Life is difficult." And over the years, I've quoted that to thousands and thousands of people around the world. And I've heard many disagree with that statement because they don't want life to be difficult. They want life to be easy. Breezy Johnson never looked for easy. And people we most admire who've inspired us and did so by facing their greatest challenges, the greatest challenges imaginable, never asked for life to be easy. They ask for life to be challenged. They ask to be challenged and to meet those challenges and rise up. Helen Keller was deaf and blind. She was deaf and blind. She became one of the leaders of the world. Abraham Lincoln, the probably greatest American president and maybe one of the greatest world leaders ever, 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 suffered from depression, from repeated migraine headaches, and he had almost no academic education, became one of the greatest presidents ever. These and others I'll mention refused to be in denial. They refused to rest in one place. They faced the harshest realities facing them, and they won, and they won, and they won. And so will I, and so will you. They moved beyond their upbringings. I mean, a lot of us had really difficult childhoods. So what? They moved beyond their health challenges. They looked at their health challenges. They were crippled. They didn't have legs, or they didn't have arms, or they didn't have arms or legs, or they were blind, or they were deaf. And they said, so what? They were being rejected and abandoned and dismissed. And they said, so what? Well, who are they? Well, there's Lady Gaga, Abraham Lincoln, Walt Disney, Jim Carrey, Ludwig von Beethoven, Michael Jordan, Stephen King, Vincent van Gogh, Thomas Edison, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds more. I could just go on and on and on. Not one of them was more privileged than you or me, because none of them are you or me. Individually, each one of us has something that no one else ever will have, ever, 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 ever. The gift of being us. And that gift isn't a staid thing. It isn't a quiet thing. It isn't a set thing. It's a flowing, moving thing. It's a becoming thing. It's an opening thing. It's the creating of music. It's sound. It's color. It's light. It's life. It's wind in the trees. It's an eagle soaring on the wind. It's the mountain snow. It's the beauty of life. It's everything. It's a great whale reaching in the Southern Ocean. It's everything. It's light. It's life. It's color. It's dance. It's us. And we have to be in motion in order to know it, in order to feel it. We have to be in the dance. In the dance. The difference is that we give up. We give up. And our heroes never give up. So let's be our own heroes. But it's so hard sometimes, isn't it? We feel like we fail continually. Like we try and then we fail, and we try and then we fail. And it feels like it's hard to go on because we keep failing. Then let me quote a man who founded Honda. The man who founded one of the greatest automobile companies in the world. The man's a multi-billionaire. And his name is on cars all over the world. And he started by making little motors to run bicycles. He had nothing but a dream. Soichi Honda said this: success is 99% failure. So the question is, do I dare fail? Because if I don't dare fail, I'll never win. Because I have to be willing to fail again and again and again. Soichi Honda should have known as Thomas Edison, who failed to make an electric light bulb work 10,000 times. And he said, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I just learned about 10,000 times that it didn't work. So today we're talking about getting ourselves out of the way, and letting our true genius flow. We're talking about that each one of us has a part to play in this world. We each have a part to play. This is like an 8 billion piece jigsaw puzzle. And the only part that we are is our part. There's no other part like us. And if we don't fit into the puzzle, the puzzle will be unfinished forever. Each one of us has a part to play. And it's never easy, but it can always be fun. We just need to leap up from here with a quantum leap. So what is a quantum leap? What is exactly a quantum leap? Well, it's defined as a sudden transformation in one's personal life rather than the slow, lineal progression we're used to. The quantum leap is a rapid change in consciousness, in circumstance, moving you or me into a completely new state. The quantum leap that will take us past wishing and dreaming and into being who we truly came here to be. Might sound a little scary, and it's supposed to be scary because fear is energy, and we're going to need the energy behind us to take that leap. And if we can't take that great leap over that great chasm, then how about this? Let's make a quantum leap, just a step leap. We'll take steps. The number one step is to dare to dream. Let that be your first quantum leap. To dare to dream, to dare to imagine what I want. Can we do that? To dream, to wish, to want. What could possibly be wrong with wanting? We're not talking about being lustful or being covetous. We're talking about the calling. the calling that takes us all to that next level of life. That's called wanting. So step one is to dare to want. Oh, oh yeah, I know. Some are going to say, I've wanted and wanted and I've wanted so many things for so long, and every time I've ever wanted anything, it didn't happen, and I've lived in such painful disappointment, and I don't want to go in, so I don't want anymore. I just don't want anymore. I just am just okay with who I am, what I have, and what I do. This is okay for me. I don't need anymore. Well, your wanting is sacred. Can't shut it off. It's sacred. It isn't pulling you forward into greater lust or greater covetousness. It's not pulling you forward into greater uh, uh, egotism or pride. It's pulling you forward into greater self-awareness, into greater self-value, into greater ability to make a contribution to our planet. Your wanting is sacred, and it should never be discarded. And if those dreams don't come true, it's for the simple reason, quite often it's for the simple reason that they think that when we dream or wish or hope for something, it'll come to us. It'll never come to us. That was a mistake I made a long, long time ago. It will never come to us. I must go to it. If I look at that dream and I say, who would I be if that dream were true? That's who I have to become. And then the dream comes true. I have to become that person. I have to be willing to be that person. Here's here's somebody that wants a good relationship. Here's a here's a woman. She wants a man. She wants a good relationship. Or it's a man wants a woman, wants a good relationship. And they're sitting at home watching television on their couch, not made up. Their hair's not done. They're just flopped on the couch watching television and waiting for someone to knock on the door and say, here I am. That ain't happening. I have to become the person that I think that person will want. And then I have to show up in their life. How do I know? How do I know where they are? I don't know where they are. Get my butt out of the house and go be in society. That's the way they'll find me. That's the way I'll find them. It's the way I found my wonderful, beautiful Mary. The amazing dancer Gabrielle Roth said, if you want to give birth to your true self, you're going to have to dig deep down into that body of yours and let your soul howl. Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith and trust that if you turn off your head, your feet will take you where you need to go. Thank you, Gabrielle Roth. So let's make it simple. Let's make it simple and also make it work. Let's get a vision and let's commit to just taking one small step toward that vision every day. One small step. And let's let that be our paradigm leap. Let that be our transformation to take that step. One small measured step. Even if it's only even if it's only getting your vision or writing it down. And then we take one more small step tomorrow, and then another one the next day. And every day we'll have taken a step and a step and a step. And then this time next year, we will have taken 365 steps. And we will be brand new. We'll be filled with fresh new feelings, and we'll be filled with fresh new thinking and new ways of thinking. And our life will be exciting again, and we'll be 3 years old and filled with curiosity and challenging the world again. And we'll begin to feel more and more worthwhile. And we'll be dissolving the self-doubts that have so far mismanaged our lives. Now, I know you'll do this. I know you'll uncover and release the deeper person within you. I know that because all those who were too frightened to go on or too lazy to go on are no longer watching. They left a long time ago. You're still here. You're still here because you want more, you want different, and you want to become who you came here to be. So now, what if you don't have a vision? What if I don't have a vision? What if I don't have any ideas what my next step is? Then let's follow our bliss. That's what Joseph Campbell, such a smart man, said to us. Follow your bliss. Let's let our let's let ourselves be pulled out of our doubts and our fears by our hearts. Can you just put your attention right now into your heart, out of your brain and into your heart, and feel that longing in your heart to do, to be, to have, to reach, whether it's sailing or traveling or writing a book or painting a picture, whatever, to let yourself be pulled forward into that sense of oneness, that sense of beingness, that sense of joy. That joy, which is your real identity, which is not the same as happiness. Happiness is the opposite of sadness, and those bounce back and forth in our lives all the time. But joy is a state of being. It's that 3-year-old platform of who you are, of who you came here to be. And from that platform, from that foundation, from that strength, that inner strength, you can do, be, and have whatever you can dream of. And your wanting is sacred. It wouldn't be there if it wasn't real. So let's do one thing today that satisfies our hearts, something that will bring us joy. And let's be continually and constantly curious, like that 3-year-old, because that's life. That's how life works. I want to finish today by quoting the wonderful writer and philosopher Alan Watts. He gave us this thought: by replacing fear of the unknown with curiosity, we open ourselves up to an infinite stream of possibility. I just want to read that again because I think that's a really important thing for us to hear. By replacing fear of the unknown, do we have some fear of the unknown? By replacing that fear of the unknown with curiosity, we open ourselves up to an infinite stream of possibility. We can let fear rule our lives, or we can become childlike with curiosity, pushing our boundaries, leaping out of our comfort zones, and accepting what life puts before us. Alan Watts. Alan Watts. What an amazing man. Back in the 60s, when we were all hippies, Alan Watts was our guru and our guide. So let's go forward this week and create something new that was waiting there in the wings that we didn't realize or didn't recognize. Let's do that. Thank you for being with me. Go with my love, and I'll see you next week.